Are mealtimes a serious struggle? Does your child eat a limited number of foods? Does your child eliminate entire food groups? Are you tired of waiting for them to just grow out of it? Welcome to How to Unpicky Your Picky Eater, where you'll learn strategies to help your picky eater expand their palate. With Christine Yoder, a pediatric feeding specialist, speech pathologist, mom of a child with feeding issues, and author of Mealtime Mindset. Let's get started. Here's Christine.
Hey, hi, and welcome to another episode of How to Unpicky Your Picky Eater. And today we have a super special guest here today, Patricia Lohan. She is the author of The Happy Home and creator of Powerhouse Feng Shui. And I personally have been a member of her Powerhouse and have learned so much about Feng Shui. And I have used it in our home and our office to really change our lives. So I am so excited to bring her knowledge and wisdom here to you today. And I really hope that you guys take this to heart and really think on it and how you can incorporate it into your own homes and own practices to improve your lives and the lives of your family and kids and wealth and all of that. There's so much that you can get from Feng Shui. So she's here to help us harmonize our home environment. It's really hard to just focus on just the kitchen area of your home or just the health area of your home, because with our kids and our families, everything is so intertwined. So in the past, I've talked about decluttering your kitchen, but it really has to sort of be a more like a whole house experience. Right? I've learned so much about that from you, Patricia, but I'm sure you could expand on it.
Well, I'm delighted to be here. I think this is just a really beautiful topic, and I'm so glad to hear that you're helping all these amazing parents and children, because it's really important to have support for children and parents who are really caring about helping their kids to, overcome whatever is going on for them. So that is something that, kind of happened by accident in my program in Powerhouse. So Christine, we started doing Powerhouse 8 years ago, our Feng Shui program virtually. And we were just kind of speaking to women who wanted to, get better jobs or improve their business. And it was very much about that and growth and abundance and career and money. And interestingly, we have a post every Friday that Christine knows about called The Wins, and people get to share their weekly wins. And one week I was reading and I was and going through all the wins, and they were about their kids. It was I have a small dog, and so I don't have children, but that really became such a huge thing for me, was realizing that the process of feng shuiing the home was having a much deeper impact on not just the mom who embraced it. Basically, it was on all of the kids in terms of their confidence, in terms of their sleeping habits, in terms of their interactions with each other, and also the benefits on their partner. So it actually made me even more enthusiastic about the practice, because I was it's every part of your life. Your home extends to every part of your life. So I'm really looking forward to sharing whatever I can here with you, Christine, and, just ask me anything and let's see how we can support everybody here.
Yeah. Well, the first thing, I think parents would always go to the kitchen, right, as their first area of the home, because that's where they prepare food and hopefully eat the food, not always, but that area of the home, and I've talked about even things like just decluttering, but are there any other tips and strategies that, people can sort of implement that might be fairly easy, and then maybe ones that might be later on, once they sort of, if they, get your book and they map their home and they really understand what area does that fall in, what gua, right? Because, the kitchen might fall into, it might be surprised to find out that might be their health area or their wealth area of their home.
So I suppose the first thing that's coming to me is just recognizing that feng shui isn't about moving furniture. And Christine has already been encouraging you to declutter your kitchen and making sure everything's in date, and all of that is amazing. And, it's not necessarily decluttering feng shui, but it is about energy and energetics. And, you know, if I was to kind of think about from this perspective of, you know, this healthy, your children becoming great eaters and being happy to enjoy food, is first of all, like setting the intention that like our home, like is a home where everyone enjoys food, you know, kind of setting the stage for this bigger vision for everybody, you know. And that kind of, you know, every time when people come into my program and into my world, I'm like, what's your intention? What's your vision? And holding that vision of like what you want to see, and using, and I thought this could be a fun thing because I'm like just coming up with ideas as we're talking, like about from a feng shui perspective. This is a new topic for me. But I'm like thinking about, you know, in your dining room, like where everyone eats together, like what's the colors? Does it feel like a calm place to sit? Does it feel welcoming and inviting? What's the artwork? Like make your kitchen, your living room, like that dining area, like a vision board for how you want it to look. So maybe you need to go out online and find a photo of a whole family sitting together, like eating their food happily. Or, you know, what is the kind of things that you can, and this is something we've seen, Christine, time and time again in our program, like people sit down and like write down what their intentions are. Like, so write it down, like, and put it in the kitchen cupboard, or just like put it in the kitchen cupboard and put, you know, I'm so grateful and happy and excited that, you know, my little one is, you know, loving food now and feels excited about the thought of it, and is really open-minded to all flavors. So, and then think about the artwork, like what's the pictures that would enhance that? So is it like bringing in pictures of like healthy food? Is it like having recipe books in the kitchen of like kind of healthy food? Like I'm a big one for like taking the focus away from the actual pain point and being more focused on what is the vision and the intention. So rather than kind of like, and you know, as you'd mentioned, like where our attention goes, energy flows. So even talking it to your partner or talking to other people, referring to your children, I would be really mindful of like labeling them like, oh, my child is this. It's like, my child is selective with their food, you know, not like, you know, it's like, and becoming more open, like, you know, what is the languaging you want to bring with that as well. The next thing I would say in terms of that, like just that making your home a vision board for your kind of future and for what you want to experience, is thinking about like, I'm sure, you know, and I'm just thinking back to my own childhood where my little sister was like a very picky eater, and she would only eat carrots. Like she ate potatoes and meat, and only vegetable she ate was carrots. And like, it's so hilarious now because she actually, I think this is good for giving everyone hope, but like she actually owns a cafe and is a chef, and she eats everything.
Oh, wonderful.
But I remember that it would create like a lot of angst and a lot of like anger and frustration and all of that. And, you know, that energy can also be amplified by specific colors in a kitchen. So I would be saying like, try and keep your kitchen as neutral and as calm as possible. So no fire, like no red images, no red, like try and get rid of any red in the kitchen or the dining room area, because that could like heat everything up. There's already enough cooking things and kind of fiery things in the kitchen area and that dining area to kind of already kind of and have that little energy. So we don't want any extra red. You want to keep neutral tones. And then the next thing I think about, like, say that artwork of like, okay, well, I want my family to, like, I always say to people and moms and parents in particular, like, you know, what's the experience of coming into the house? Like, what's your experience of coming into your house, and does it feel calm? You know, so for example, I don't know, for some reason I'm thinking of like a fridge. And the fridge can often be, and I've seen in many parents' houses, like where there's like a million pictures that have been painted by the children. There's all of the letters, there's everything. It's like Magnetville and it's very busy. I would be like, get yourself a little file box and put it in. And put that stuff in, like clear the fridge of any busyness. You want it to just not have too much attention to it. You want it just to feel calm and peaceful. And that would, like, even the kitchen counters, keeping that place nice and clear and kind of organized. And then in the rest of the house, thinking about like, okay, well, I want my home, I want my kids, my family to all get on well. So let's have a look at the artwork of them, like the artwork in the house. Like, what's the pictures that you have up? Is there like a really nice family photo of you on a really happy day together. So you're trying to bring the attention to like when we all like times that you feel good, and remembering those times. And in your children's bedroom in particular, I know this isn't relevant for the kitchen, but like, so my sense is that like when children have like kind of certain things going on for them, it's a ripple effect of other things in their life. So, are they getting a good night's sleep? Then I will be talking about doing like checking their bedroom. And Christine, I have a resource that's at patricialohan.com/moms. That's a whole video, like 20 minutes about setting up your children's bedroom for success. So it's like just all about feng shuiing your bedroom, and the children's bedroom in particular, things to have in the bedroom, not to have in the bedroom, because the most important thing for us and for all of us is our sleep. So if we can get them having a good night's sleep, I would highly recommend doing the bedroom and getting that room sorted so they've got their own little sanctuary, because that frustration, the things that are coming out, it can be just a reflection of something else happening in their lives. So the bedroom will be something I'd highly recommend, and I'll give you the access to the video so people can watch it and do the bedroom. But I'll continue with the other topics. So the bedroom is good, and then the artwork. So in, say, the room that you spend time together, like it may not be the family area. So, Christine talked about mapping out the 9 areas of your home, and every area represents a different part of your life. That's like way too kind of complex for us on a chat like this today, but more like just what's the function of that room, and how do you want to feel in that room? So have a look at the art that's in it. Does it represent the whole family together? And then one other thing before you, because I'm sure you have more questions and you're like, shut up. I got excited about this because I'm thinking about all the children that will feel different in their homes. Is the other thing is, if your children if you have a lot of baby pictures around your house, and obviously the eating thing, they're at a different stage, they're a bit older. And I don't know, Christine, is there a certain age that you work with, or?
All ages, but a lot of infants infants have their own issues, but a lot of what people would call picky eaters as like a tag phrase is like probably from like 3 to 10 or ish.
Okay. So like whatever age your child is now, like try and get rid of, don't have as many like the baby pictures up. So like basically what we've seen is that, especially if children are exerting or kind of exhibiting childish behavior, like more childish behavior, you don't want the art of that kind of era. So maybe it's a 10-year-old, and then you've all these pictures of 3-year-olds, which we know like whatever, or 2-year-old, like that's kind of the era that all the pictures were put up of them, and they're kind of behaving like that, and you're like, no, now it's time to grow up. So just have a little look around and take them down, and only put ones up that that you had a great time together. This is so important, because oftentimes, you may have gone and had a lovely family photo shoot, but someone had a tantrum, before it. And you're like, that energy is still in it. So it would be important to just make sure that what's on the walls is reflective of like positive energy of happy times, and just even kind of that aging as well.
That is a really great tip. Like I never would have thought of that. That's so true. It's like, okay, well, there's all these baby pictures, and I'm like wondering why they're still eating like a baby. Okay, maybe we should change the photos. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. That's a great idea. And that's like an easy one to do. That's easy. That's a quick, easy tip.
And even what's coming to me is change the photo. Like if you don't have photos of that age, maybe it's like taking, you could create a little vision board of and find magazines of children eating loads of food and eating vegetables, and you could kind of create that and kind of be like, this is what we're aiming for, and have that up. That's your aim.
Right. That's amazing. That's a great tip. Yeah, that was, thank you. Those were amazing. And we said it's so hard to separate out those different areas. Like you said, there's like the child area, then there's like the health area, because a lot of parents get very fearful because, they want their kids to eat. They want them to be healthy and have nutrients, because that affects, how they do in school, and so many. It affects everything. It's what you put in your body is your fuel for life, right? So when they're not eating well and they're not eating healthy, especially, it's worrisome to parents. So their health, I feel like that's like an area of concern, which I know is part of the Feng Shui,
Yeah,
the health area.
yeah, and I think I'm happy to touch on two of these things. First of all, like in your home, the health area in particular is the center of your home. So if you were ever if you were like flying on top of your house and looking down, like right in the center is the health area. But actually, one of the things that I would say, like, and the one main thing around that health area is to try and keep it as clear of clutter as possible. And what I find in like family homes with like children and young children is that they're busy. Like they're a busy space, and just recognizing that, first of all, when it comes to decluttering, I am not necessarily going to, if I went to someone's house and their playroom was covered in toys, like all spread out and whatever, like messy or busy, I would be okay with that. Like, that's not bad feng shui for me personally. That's called life. And as long as the kids are playing with those toys, that's totally fine. The dishes on the counter, that's, that eventually they're always going to get washed. Like, so that's fine. And the laundry room, the laundry is always moving and being done. So those areas in particular, like if there's kind of that where you're like, oh my God, if you came to my house, I am not, like, for me, from a health perspective and from a, wanting things to change or shift a dial in your house, I'd be more concerned personally about, let me have a look in that cupboard that hasn't been opened in 6 months that you're kind of scared to open. That's where stagnancy happens. And feng shui is like acupuncture for your home. So when you go to the acupuncturist, they're going to take your pulse, they're going to check where there's stagnancy in different organs. It's pretty much the same thing in feng shui. I am going to look around and be like, okay, well, you're fit and you're moving and your body is fine, whatever your clothes are. Like, it's not about what you're wearing. With the acupuncturist, it's the same as not what's in your furniture in your house. It's more like, where's the stagnancy? Where's the chi not getting to flow? And what I see with parents often is the storage situation, because it's not as common. What I've seen is that of decluttering, they're not as good at just kind of letting go. It's more like, let's get another storage container. Let's get another storage container. We'll just let it. And that is creating stagnancy. So wherever those storage containers are, and it can be, sometimes it's a case of like, well, maybe we're going to have another baby, maybe another child, and then you're holding out, maybe you're holding on, and like, by the time a new child comes, even if it's in a year or 2 years time, like, those clothes could have been used by someone down the road and will be come back, and I just find that it's a little bit of like, let go, make space. And you've talked about the kitchen to people, but I'm like, the bigger picture is your whole house is like a reflection of your life. And if there's some kind of things not flowing the way you want, when you go to those kind of areas, whether it's, and especially like under beds or into cupboards that are just closets that are full, or attics, that's creating kind of stress on the body, on everyone in the house. And by just that one thing, and like, just do one cupboard at a time. Like, don't think about everything, just do one cupboard at a time, and start there and kind of feel, oh, well, that felt good and we got rid of that, and then this happened. We see it, Christine, all the time, people coming in like, oh my gosh, this money came in. Like, we had one client, Katie, the other day, she cluttered her whole kitchen, like just like we were saying, she totally sorted her whole kitchen line. She's like, I just got €1,000 in my bank account unexpectedly, like the next day. And I was like, yes, because you started tapping into flow.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think a lot of parents do. They hang on, they feel sentimental about a lot of things. And like you said, instead of getting rid of it, moving on, thanking it for all of the good memories, it becomes like, oh, okay, well, I'll just buy another Tupperware. And then you have a whole room of Tupperware and none of it is getting used. That's so great. And then, yeah, all that energy just kind of gets stuck. And it doesn't just get stuck and affect that one area of the house, because like, it might be in your child's bedroom, but that child's, their health, their, your family connection and their eating, that happens in other areas, right? So you can see how it just can bleed into, you really have to balance the whole house.
Everything is interconnected, absolutely everything is interconnected. And I just know that when you start changing the energy of your house, you're starting to create an environment that is calmer, that is more, there's more flow. Like when you start letting go of those boxes and you just start like making space, it's just that there's more flow. So then everybody's a bit happier, and then it's like when you're happy and you're relaxed, you're like, oh, maybe I will try this. And it's not like you're creating a new mode in the house. And then just even from that, it will be interesting to kind of is to move around your house and just see, is there anything broken, not working, just even from a food kitchen perspective, like don't be eating off chipped plates, like that can be depleting of the energy of the food. But like anything that's broken, anything that's not working, anything that's chipped, like it's depleting your energy. And if it hasn't been used in several months, it's depleting your energy and also the energy of the house. So it all interweaves, and we're just in our Chinese New Year where the energies have been changing. And I still feel a little bit of myself because I have all my paintings down to move everything around. And I'm like, I'm still not kind of grounded because I can feel a difference in just things not quite settled yet. So, I'm just super sensitive to it, but it's impacting you whether you like it or not.
Right. Yeah. And I think you've said that many times, like it doesn't matter if you believe in Feng Shui or not, it's still going to impact you because energy is energy. Like you can't change. And your house is just like the biggest energy source. Like it's right. Like I forget exactly how you phrased it, but something about like how like the house is like the greatest extension of you or.
Yeah, and it's a mirror of you as well. Like it's just a total mirror of you. So, if you start to create a calm environment for yourself in your home, it's going to mirror into you and into your children. It's just that positive ripple effect.
Yeah, that's amazing. And then, even in terms of, you talked about the artwork, which is really great. But the, the family area of the home,
Yeah, sure.
because sometimes it'll cause like you said, like it'll make you frustrated, but then you get like mad at the child and the child then becomes like a battle. Like, no, I'm not going to eat it. And you're like, yes, I want you to eat it because you're going to be healthy. Like you have good intentions, but it causes like turmoil.
Exactly.
Or even between the spouses, there might be one spouse that wants to be gentle and the other one that's like, no, they're going to eat it or they're going to starve. There's like a imbalance between the two. Just how to like create more harmony maybe between the family members.
So the east area of the home, like, so basically don't even kind of get like, oh, how do I find it? Like literally just have a look, okay, where does the sun set? Where is the sun setting? Where is the sun rising? And then you've got your east and your west, and just kind of in that direction, you're like, oh, there you go. So then that you're like, okay, there's my west. There's the sun, sun rising, there's sunset, and I'm looking at west, and I'm like, okay, I'm looking at so you know where your east area is. You go to your east area and just have a wander around. Just clear it out. If there is some of those containers of toys or stuff that you're not using, clear it out. If there's anything broken, clear it out, and maybe get a nice family photo and like write some intentions. Like, I'm so delighted that everyone gets on really well, that we have a great appetite, that we eat cleanly and healthily, that there's just a great connection in our family. And a lot of the time, what we noticed over the years when people first came into our world, they joined our program Powerhouse, but it was just like when you ask them, well, what do you want? And they take time to sit down and write down what they want. They're like, oh, I've never done this before. I've never actually kind of went, oh, what's my bigger vision? So kind of like full circle back to the bigger vision.
Yeah, I think the intention is really big. We talk about that a lot. Even in my program, that's one of the first things I have the parents do is write down like, why do you want your kids to eat? Like, is it just because you think it's supposed to happen or because you think you're being a bad parent if they're not? Like, why do you actually want them to do this? And what was the other thing I was going to ask you? Now I forgot. You mentioned wealth too. A lot of our parents, listening, they maybe, I always hear like, oh, this is expensive. That's expensive. I'd love to do this therapy with you, but it's just cost too much. And it's like, I want you to be able to bring in that money so that you can feel like you can help your kids to the best of your ability. Always saying, no, I don't have money for that. No, that's too expensive. That's always going to create more lack.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And how can Feng Shui help with that?
For sure. So I just had an amazing conversation with one of our members who literally joined, and she was in a space of lack. And she said she just, you know what made her so mad was that she had to keep saying no to her kids. And she's like, I've decided I want to be able to say yes. And that was like a decision that she made. And this is something that we've seen change in our community members, is that once they start to tap into the energy of their home, and your home has like different house types, so it can be good for money or bad for money. It can be, there's some aspects and areas that can be really difficult, that can create and cause like difficulty with finances, no matter how hard you're working. I think that's one of the kind of the dichotomies of the whole thing, is just like, oh my God, I'm working really hard, but like, what the hell? So I would say first thing is like back to exactly what I talked about earlier, that having that intention, just like Irene did, saying like, I wanted to say yes to my children to do the things that we want to do. And then, okay, well, if my house can help me, like this resource of my home can help me bring more harmony, more balance, more flow, I'm going to tackle it. And everything that I have shared today is going to be helpful for this, like in terms of like the clearing out, because if there, as I said, if there's stagnancy in some part of your home, it could be the prosperity area, which is the southeast, but it may be just linked to that energy as well of flow. So clearing out, setting up the space, like even your bedroom, you're going to learn from the video with the bedrooms, there's a lot like that you can do to like set up that sanctuary so you're more restful, you're more relaxed, and then you're like, oh, I'm feeling better. And it's from that better feeling state, it's really, really useful. And I think with me, like when we, like Christine, you've put your remedies in, you've got your personal report, and there's that kind of baseline that's really helpful. But for me, it's like for everyone here, is just to get an awareness that your home is impacting your relationships, your children, yourself, your bank account. And when you kind of get that awareness, it really is helpful. And I do have a lot of resources that I can share on all of those topics. But I would say to you, like, take action on what I've shared today. Like there's a lot there, and honestly, you'll start to see shifts, like guaranteed. But you have to take action, and that's the thing. You can be kind of listening, going, "Oh, I don't care. Oh, I won't bother," and then you won't see it. We know the ones who take action see results.
Absolutely. Oh, and I always am telling people that too. Like you can't just listen to something or read something. Like you actually have to go and do the thing, right? Because that's what moves, that's what creates, and that's energy. Taking action is putting energy and intention into, right? So even I say, just take one baby step, just put one new thing on the plate, just do this, once a day, because every little action will build upon the next. Okay. So yeah, that's what I'm hoping our parents do, is take action. And I hope they visit your website. Now, where can they find all of the Powerhouse, your book? Where can they get more like in touch with you?
Is patricialohan.com, and at patricialohan.com there is some free resources about abundance and about your office and all different things. There's also access to my mini course, which is a $9 program that is a really great introduction into Feng Shui, giving you some tips and some action steps. It's amazing. And what was the other thing I was going to share? And then also check out patricialohan.com/moms, because there is a special resource there that has that bedroom training that you'll be able to get.
Yeah. Oh, that's wonderful. And definitely check out her book, The Happy Home as well. And is that's on Amazon, but also
it's on Amazon, but if you go to patricialohan.com, it'll pop up there as well. Yeah.
Okay, great. Yeah. And the bedroom is such an important area, like you said, what is that? Like the oxygen mask, like you have to put your own oxygen mask on before you put it on your kids, because if you don't have any patience, if you're not well rested, nothing in the house is going to go well.
Totally.
So that's a good place to start with that bedroom module. So that's great. I hope all of our moms go right there today. So thank you so much. Is there anything else that we didn't talk about that you want to share?
No, I'm good. I'm delighted to have this opportunity, and I hope this was helpful. And if you were inspired to take action, please do come and let us know. I just love to hear about things that people have got aha moments, or if you've had a win, where we have Powerhouse Feng Shui and Patricia Lohan on Instagram, but mostly where all the resources are is at Patricia Lohan. But do come and tell us. We want to know. It's so fun.
Oh, wonderful. Thank you so much, Patricia. And I'm going to link all of the things below so you can access all of her recordings and podcasts and book and all of that. Thank you again for being with us. And I hope this was helpful to all of our moms and dads out there. And we'll see you next week.
Thanks a million.
Thank you for listening to How to Unpicky Your Picky Eater. To learn more about achieving your child's feeding goals, check out Christine's website at foodologyfeeding.com. And be sure to tune in next time to How to Unpicky Your Picky Eater.